Love can fade quietly, long before anyone says it out loud. You feel it first in the silences, the looks, the small things you used to take for granted. You might still be holding on, making excuses, convincing yourself it's just a rough patch. But deep down, something feels different. In this video, we're going to walk through 11 powerful signs that your partner may have already stopped loving you, even if you're still pretending everything is fine. These aren't about drama or guessing games. They're real psychological signs that speak louder than any words. If you recognize these signs, it's not to shame yourself. It's to see clearly and decide what you truly deserve. Let's begin. 1. They give you blank stares instead of warm smiles. When love fades, one of the first places it shows is in the eyes. Where there used to be warmth, excitement, and softness when they looked at you, now there's distance. Their eyes don't light up anymore when you walk into the room. A blank stare doesn't always mean hatred. Sometimes it's worse. It means emotional disconnection. They might still smile out of habit, but the genuine sparkle is gone, and no matter how much you try to reignite it, it feels like reaching for something that isn't there. You start to realize that the most honest part of them, their gaze, tells you the truth their words won't say. Affection can be faked in gestures, but the eyes never lie for long. When the eyes go dull, it's because the heart has already gone silent. 2. They tolerate you instead of choosing you. In healthy love, being together feels like a choice, not a duty. But when affection fades, you can feel the shift. They seem drained by your presence, not energized by it. Conversations become chores instead of connections. You notice the way they sigh when you speak, as if your words are interruptions rather than invitations. Their attention drifts. They listen out of politeness, not genuine care. Being with you no longer feels like something they want. It feels like something they endure. The hardest part is feeling the difference without them ever admitting it. They're still physically present, but emotionally, they've already walked away. And even though you see it, part of you still clings to the memory of who they used to be. 3. Physical touch becomes rare, robotic, or non-existent. Physical intimacy isn't just about attraction, it's a reflection of emotional closeness. When love fades, touch becomes rare, mechanical, or absent. Kisses feel quick and disconnected. Hugs feel like obligations, not acts of affection. Even casual touches, like brushing against your hand or leaning into you during a movie, start disappearing. The absence of touch leaves a silent but painful message. I don't feel close to you anymore. You notice the way their body stiffens or pulls away when you reach out. It's not just about sex. It's about the dozens of small physical ways people say, I see you, I want you, and realizing those messages have stopped coming. Touch used to be effortless, but now it feels forced, or worse, absent altogether. 4. You always have to beg for time, attention, or effort. When someone loves you, giving time and attention is natural. You don't have to chase it, schedule it, or fight for scraps of it. But when love fades, every request starts feeling like begging. You find yourself initiating all the conversations, planning all the dates, fixing all the problems. They act like spending time with you is a favor they're doing, not a joy they seek. You lower your expectations, hoping for crumbs just to feel seen. Healthy relationships aren't powered by begging. They're built on mutual desire to show up, again and again, without being forced. When effort disappears, connection disappears right behind it, leaving only obligation and silent resentment. 5. They prioritize everyone and everything before you. When someone loves you, you feel like a home, a safe place they return to. When love fades, you feel like an afterthought. Their friends, their coworkers, their hobbies, even their phones get more attention than you do. You notice how they find energy for everything else, but come home exhausted for you. Your needs feel like burdens they no longer want to carry. Their excitement lives somewhere else now, and you can feel the emotional vacancy when they're around you. The worst feeling isn't anger or betrayal. It's realizing you've become optional in someone's life when once you were their priority. You realize they stopped building a life with you and started building one without you, long before you noticed. 6. Arguments turn into indifference, not fire. Fighting doesn't always mean a relationship is doomed. In fact, arguments often show that people still care enough to fight for understanding. But when love fades, even the fights disappear. You bring up concerns and are met with shrugs, silence, or cold dismissals. It's not that they disagree with you, it's that they don't care enough to bother. Your pain doesn't move them the way it used to. Your emotions feel like background noise they've learned to tune out or ignore. Indifference is colder than hate. At least, hate requires passion. Indifference feels like standing alone while the person you love barely notices you exist. And that silent loneliness cuts deeper than any shouting match ever could. 7. They don't ask about your life anymore. When someone loves you, they're curious about your world, your thoughts, your dreams, your struggles. They want to be part of your inner life. But when love dies, so does the curiosity. Conversations become surface level. They stop asking how your day was, what you're feeling, what you're excited about. Your life becomes invisible to them unless it directly affects theirs. You feel like a stranger living alongside someone who once knew you deeply. It's heartbreaking to realize that the person who once wanted to know every part of you now treats your life like irrelevant background noise. When curiosity fades, so does emotional connection, leaving only the shell of what once was real. 8. You feel constantly in the way, not wanted. In a loving relationship, your presence is welcomed, cherished, celebrated. But when love fades, your very existence starts to feel like an inconvenience. You sense their irritation when you enter the room, their impatience when you speak. You start apologizing for things that shouldn't need apologies, for needing attention, for asking questions, even for existing in shared spaces. You shrink yourself, hoping to take up less space, cause less disruption. You walk on eggshells without even realizing it. The tragedy isn't that you're flawed, it's that you're no longer seen as someone who adds to their life. You're seen as someone who burdens it. And the more you try to fix it, the more invisible you seem to become. 9. They stop fighting for you and start fighting against you. In strong relationships, both people fight for each other, against problems, not against each other. But when love fades, the battles shift. You find yourself constantly defending yourself, feeling like you're the enemy, not the teammate. They pick fights over small things, escalate disagreements unnecessarily, or treat you with open hostility. What once was partnership becomes rivalry. Trust erodes. Every discussion feels like a war you never wanted to fight, or even understood how it started. The battles aren't about solving anything. They're about creating distance, justifying anger, and tearing down whatever fragile connection still remains. Winning becomes more important than understanding, and hearts break long before relationships end. 10. Their future plans. Sound like you're not in them. When someone loves you, you're part of their vision for the future. Their plans, dreams, and goals naturally include you. But when love fades, you start noticing a quiet but devastating shift. Their future doesn't seem to have a place for you anymore. They talk about trips, careers, homes, dreams, all without mentioning you. You become a passive listener to a life you were once supposed to share. You realize you're not part of their someday anymore, only their used to. The omission isn't accidental. It's the clearest sign that, in their heart, the relationship has already ended, even if the words haven't been said yet. Futures don't forget the ones they truly want. 11. Deep down, you already know, but you keep lying to yourself. The hardest truth isn't what they're doing. It's what you already know, deep down. Long before the arguments, the silences, the betrayals, your soul felt the shift. But instead of facing it, you told yourself stories, made excuses, clung to the memories of who they used to be. Denial isn't stupidity, it's survival. It's easier to pretend than to grieve the loss of a love you didn't want to lose. But the longer you lie to yourself, the deeper the damage becomes. Healing starts the moment you stop pretending and start listening to what your heart already knows. Listening to that quiet voice inside you, the one you keep trying to silence, isn't weakness. It's your path to healing, dignity, and finally giving yourself the love you've been begging someone else to give. You deserve the kind of love that doesn't have to be doubted. When love fades, it often leaves quietly, through cold stares, missed conversations, distant touches, and futures that no longer fit you. Pretending it's not happening doesn't save it. It only drags out your pain. You deserve more than someone tolerating you. You deserve someone who chooses you, fully, willingly, every day. If you recognize these signs, it's not too late to choose yourself first.